I wanted to start off the show today. I got so inspired during my Vipassana retreat. So we're going to talk about Vipassana later, but I wanted to start off this whole thing because we never really made a public announcement why like we kind of went our separate ways with just you guys. It just didn't work out anymore. That's from my perspective. That's what I think happened.
Yeah, that's basically how it went down. It was at a certain point, you get fed up. You don't want to talk about it.
No, we can talk about it. We're getting raw and authentic.
I thought you wanted to talk about it.
Let's talk about it.
You said you wanted.
You tell them. You tell them.
It's fine. Well, there was the time that Gabe took ayahuasca in the living room, burned a hole in the carpet, and then peed on the floor, and then tried to act like it was cool while we had to be at a shoot. You seem so sad.
Yeah,
I'm
not sad.
And that's where it all started declining.
No, I am sad because you were
and
like.
And now we've reached the bottom.
And we're not friends anymore. And this it had to.
Fuck you. Yeah, I try and not be in the same room as Gabe as much as possible. That's the thing. I feel like with building a company as an entrepreneur, especially like your first company.
It's like your baby.
It's really like your baby.
It's like a child.
Your identity becomes so much a part of it.
It was such good times. Yeah, but you know, like as they say, like the only constant in life is change.
Totally.
And that is like the main core precept of Vipassana. So like I felt very attached and I didn't want to tell the world that we weren't really focusing on what we were doing together anymore. And yeah, there was definitely
it's definitely weird because of how closely you and I grew as friends while building the business and like how much our identity got mixed up to the point that like people didn't know if I was Gabe or you know, like people don't know.
I'm Asian. You guys can clearly see that I'm like, specific dollar amount will definitely bring us back together.
So if you know an uncle with a lot of money and you guys want to do a project,
6 to 7 figures, then you can hide. Just you guys will get back together and make something for you.
Special events only.
Yeah, and we're still really great friends.
There you go, Ty. I know you've been curious.
Will's still the big spoon.
Okay,
the heaven gates are actually wide open. The more of a Vipassana retreat you do, the more likely you're gonna get to heaven.
Exactly, yeah. And so that way at the end when everyone can talk, you can brag. It's like a really slow version of mushrooms.
Yeah, no, it is like a psychedelic trip, but also I remember you saying it's like when your internet is like working really shitty, you just kind of like unplug it for a second.
Plug your
router, then you plug it back in, and then the internet, everything works way better. Just like, cause like the moment you're born, like when you incarnate into this like third dimensional realm, it's just incoming all the time, right? You're just constant like.
You're like a sponge.
Yeah, you're soaking everything. So when
you can't stop it.
And even when you're sleeping, it's just like incessant thoughts. It's like the monkey. They always say in the yogic terms, like the mind is like a monkey that's drunk that just got stung by a bee, and it's swinging from branch to branch, and the branches are your thoughts. So it's just like this constant thinking. Like when do you actually get to take a break and like let your mind like go deep?
And how does he stay so drunk all the time?
Yeah. And I can't even describe how profound it is to sit in complete silence for 10 days.
On a basic level, Vipassana is a meditation technique.
Yes.
And the technique is just like mindfulness and body scanning.
Yes.
This is how I would describe it.
And like maintaining equanimity, which is like.
Yeah, if you go like into the philosophy of it, the idea is that you want to have the equanimity and the awareness. And there's like 2 wings of a bird or like of an airplane.
Or the 2 wheels of a chariot.
Two wheels of a chariot. And so it's like when you have those 2 things in balance, then you can experience life on a deeper level.
Yes.
And like on a more, just more impactful and just a way that really, I feel like connects you to your fellow human. You know, you stop seeing people as like masses and you do at least a better job of humanizing and individualizing people, which is just really powerful. I feel like on a personal level, it feels like it just takes your heart and it helps your heart like blossom, which is really cool.
Yeah, because like there's a lot of suffering in this world.
I feel like Vipassana is like a little bit of a death, you know, because you have to die from the world of everyday life for 10, 11, 12 days, you know, which is a huge commitment.
It's like the hardest thing I've ever done in my life, but it's like the most gratifying and most like, it just rids the defilements and all the things that like all the mental patterns that stop you from, you know, living your best life.
You take the time to meditate, it gives you the ability to become clear on those items in your life. And so you're like, oh, okay, this is just me being crazy.
Every moment you're like, wanting something or pushing something away.
Right.
And when you don't get it, or if it doesn't go away, you suffer. It changes you.
You come back and you're like, whoa, planet Earth is a fucking trip.
Yeah, it's such a mess out here.
It is such a mess.
You got time. 10 days is like, in your whole spectrum of life, 10 days is really not that much time.
Yeah.
You can spend 10 days watching a Netflix series and not get anything done.
Oh,
Easily.
Burn. Bringing out these fire tapas,
with
dude.
no judgment, no judgment. You guys are ever like in a really tense situation and you feel like out of control or like overwhelmed, the key is just to come back to your breath. You're depressed when you're kind of like in the past, right? And then you feel anxiety when you're like worrying about the future. So you're like totally missing the point because the present moment is where all the fucking magic is. So when you come back to your breath, you're in the present. And that is where you can like really
become an unstoppable entrepreneur.